Shalom. I'm Commander Judea, also known as Prince Yizzy.
Shalom, I'm Officer Solomon here at the One Nation Israelite School.
And we are
One Nation Israelite School.
Thank you for joining us for the Sabbath. With no further ado, let's give thanks to the Most High, and then we'll get into the class.
Oh man, we gotta take this more excited.
We're going to send these prayers up, and then we're going to get into the Sabbath.
Oh my.
Thank you, Father God, for another day, another night. Thank you for waking us up this morning. Thank you for all your blessings. Forgive us for all our sins, known and unknown. Give us the strength to overcome the demons that we fight on a day-to-day basis. Father God, we just want to thank you for the Sabbath. We want to thank you for the food and the drinks, giving us another day for cracking our eyes open, letting us breathe in your air, giving us another chance to make ourselves right with you. Father God, I ask that you give us ideas and let us come together that we may be able to put ourselves in a position that we no longer have to depend on the enemy in this captivity. Father God, I want to thank you for your glory. I want to thank you for your grace and your mercy. Father God, we want to thank you for all the blessings that are here and those that are yet to come. Give us the strength to rejoice in tribulation. Father God, we ask that you lead every last one of us in the way that you would have us to go. But Father God, break not the unity. Father God, let us remove from us all hatred, envy, malice, and strife amongst each other. Let us deal according to your words. Father God, I ask that you bring us a spirit of sincerity and seriousness and diligence amongst the body. Send in more laborers that we may harvest the field, that we may go out and put in the work and to wake up the Israelites amongst the four corners of the earth. Bless every other Israelite camp among the earth that they teach in truth and sincerity. And Father God, we ask that you touch the heart and remove hatred out of the nation of Israel. In your Son Christ's name, we give you the glory, the praise, and the honor. Amen.
Amen.
And finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and the power of his what?
His might.
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 It is what it is. All right. So, today's class is entitled, You're Not Serious. 4 signs. 4 signs that lets me know that you're not serious. Now, it may just be one or the other, but it's 4 signs. It's multiple signs to see if people are not serious. But today we just gonna touch 4 of them. All right. So let's get right into it. First off, what we have to remember. Give me St. Luke chapter 2, verse 49. St. Luke chapter 2 and verse 49. School slogan.
St. Luke chapter 2 and verse 49. St. Luke chapter 2 and verse 49. And he said unto them, How is it that ye sought me? Wish ye not that I must be about my Father's business?
So Christ told his own mother and his own father in the flesh, I must be about my Father's business. Likewise with us. We come into the truth. We start finding out. We find out who we are. We see the mission. It is our job to be about our Father's business. Go out and get the work done. Be about the business of the Most High. Anything else got your mind besides what our true mission is, that can be a blatant red flag that you're not serious. We must be about the Father's business in every aspect of our walk. But most of us are not serious about the Father's business. We're not serious about it. Most of us is not. And this truth has to come before any and everything. We got to be about the Father's business in every way, shape, and form, in everything we do. All right. So, some of us we can see you're not serious. Even not just here, but when you look at in the world, you look at Facebook, you look at some of the stuff these people get themselves involved in, the way they deal. They're not serious about this truth. They're not. They put any and everything before the business of the Most High. Family, Facebook, video games. Just whatsoever, any and everything comes before this truth. If the Most High, I'm going to tell you how you know things, you put things before the Most High, you know other things your God. If the Most High only get one day out of your week, and you only give him half of that, you're not serious. I'm going to touch it too, I'm going to get into it. But let's get 4 signs. Number 1, there's no zeal. If you don't have no zeal in you, not zealous, no zeal in you whatsoever, you're not serious about the truth. That's one of the signs we can tell. You're entertained by, give me 1 second. You're entertained by anything or everything else. It means you're not serious about the truth. What's up?
That's what zeal mean?
I'm gonna define it a little bit later. I'm gonna read it to you, but it's got something to do with enthusiasm, all type. I'm gonna read the definition to you in a second. Give me a second. So 1 is zeal. Number 2, you don't study. Number 3, you don't apply nothing that's been taught. And number 4, no contact. You know what I'm saying? So let's do it. Let's do it like this. We're gonna break it down real quick. No zeal. When we say no zeal, I don't want to even. Matter of fact, I don't even want to. Let's define zeal real quick. So let's get the definition of zeal. Come on. All right, definition of zeal. Great energy or enthusiasm in the pursuit of a cause or an objective. Synonyms: passion, love, devotion, enthusiasm, eagerness. Those are all synonyms of zeal. To be zeal, when it says great energy or enthusiasm in the pursuit of a cause, our pursuit is to be like Christ. The objective is to get the kingdom. Our pursuit is to be like Christ, and our objective is to get the kingdom. You got to be diligent in the whole walk to get to the kingdom. But once again, let's break down zeal. I see no zeal in a lot of brothers in this truth. Let's go Revelation 3 and 15. Revelation chapter 3, verse 15.
Revelation chapter 3. You said 3, right?
Chapter 3, verse 15.
All right.
Match me.
Revelation chapter 3 and verse 15. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot.
So the Most High saying, listen, I know your works, and I can see that you're neither cold nor hot. You're neither cold nor hot. But he's telling you clear as day, I would prefer you to either be cold or be hot. Be all the way in this thing or just get all the way out. You know what I'm saying? Most of our people, I see, they are entertained with everything else. This truth is last. It's the thing about it, most I said the last day of the week is the Sabbath. And we really treat the truth the same way. Like it's just, it gets the very last of your time. Come on, 16.
Verse 16. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth.
So the Most High saying, because you're neither all the way in this thing, you're not, because you have no zeal, because you're neither hot all the way in it or neither cold, you haven't chosen, meaning you're not all the way in this truth, you're not going all the way out and above and beyond for this truth, nor are you completely just out of it. To me, you like a lukewarm thing. I'm just going to spit you out my mouth. It'd have been better if you would just enjoy the world. Or it'd have been better if you just came all the way into the truth. One or the other, you need to choose, because if you're in the middle, I got to cut you. I'm cutting you out, and if you out, I'm cutting you out. Make your kingdom here on earth. Enjoy the world while you got it. All right? So, I see some people are entertained by the world, and I see the lukewarmness in how our people are sometimes with this truth. They half in, they half out. And another thing with this zeal, enthusiasm, a pursuit. So when I look at some brothers, I'm like, okay, another great sign that we can tell is just slothfulness with the word. How does the Bible require us to be in this walk? This is how you know if you got zeal. Give me Romans 12 and 11. Romans 12 and 11.
Romans chapter 12 and verse 11. Not slothful in business, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord.
So it says not slothful in business. Not slothful in business. What business? What business are we supposed to be about? We must be about the Father's business. So not slothful in the works of the Most High. Not slothful in the works of the Most High. All right? So let's get the word slothful real quick. Let's define that. I want to make sure everybody catching where we're going. Slothful. Lazy. It gave you one word. Lazy. Synonyms. Lazy. Idle. Sluggish. Alright? So it's telling you. Read that verse again.
Not slothful in business.
Not
fervent.
lazy with the work. Not procrastinate with the work. Come on.
Fervent in spirit.
When it says fervent, let's look that word up real quick. We're going to break this whole thing down. I want you to understand where we're going. Fervent, having or displaying a passion, intensity. Passionate, intense, sincere. All right? So read it one more time.
Not slothful in business.
So not lazy with the work of the Most High.
Fervent in spirit.
Passionate, intense, sincere in spirit.
Serving the Lord.
And serving the Lord. So what I'm showing you in all, when it comes to the Most High work, the Most High said this is supposed to be a sincere, all-out, intense pursuit. That's how we can see the zeal in brothers. No, brothers don't have that zeal. They slothful with the business. They slothful with the work. This thing comes last. And, you know, when we come to learning, when you come into the truth, normally that's when you have the most zeal. You're supposed to be enthusiastic to keep learning. Steady courses. You get fired. There, and it says not to be idle. When it says don't be idle, that means what's being idle? What does it mean to be idle?
Trying to be a face or something.
No.
Not doing nothing.
Not doing nothing. Not being busy. You're not involved with the works. Idle time is what? Spare time. The Bible says don't be idle. You're supposed to always be in the midst of the works. Alright? So we're not to be slothful but fervent when it comes to the work or the business of the Most High. Watch this. I'm going to show you why you don't want to be slothful. What did the Bible consider slothful people as? Let's go to the Apocrypha real quick. We're going to Sirach 22. Sirach 22 verse 1 and 2.
Sirach chapter 22 and verse 1.
This is a blatant sign that we can tell that you're not serious about the truth. When you're slothful, you're not fervent about the Most High's business.
A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone.
A slothful man is compared to a filthy stone. It's going to clear that up what that's talking about. Read on.
And everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace.
Come on.
A slothful man is compared to the filthy of a dunghill.
It's compared to the filth of a dunghill. A dunghill is a pile of shit, in other words. A dunghill is a hill of S-H-I-T, sugar, honey, iced tea. All right? So, is that it on that?
No.
Read it from the top.
All right. From
2.
All right. A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dunghill. Every man that taketh it up will shake his hand.
You get something on your hand.
Right.
The Bible's telling you, a slothful servant is nothing more than a pile of your waste. Your waste. Watch this. Give me Proverbs 19 verse 15. Proverbs 19 and 15. What happens if you're slothful with the word? I'm going to show you what being slothful does. That's how we can tell some of y'all are on the edge of falling out this truth. You hanging on by a strand. Why? Because you became slothful with the work. The zeal has disappeared. What does that mean? This is what happens when you get slothful with the Most High word.
Slothfulness casteth into a deep sleep.
Slothfulness cast it into a deep sleep. That means you're going to find yourself out of this truth. When you get slothful at work, you're going to fall out of the truth. I remember we had a sister here. And I did a class about her being slothful, told her to stop being slothful, and now where she at? In the world. Man. Back in the world.
Yeah.
She's back in the world. You know what I'm saying? But remember what I was telling y'all. When it comes to this truth, slothfulness will make you fall out of the truth, but then I also was telling y'all about how a lot of people lose their zeal because they entertain with the things of the world. Everything else comes before this truth. I'm going to show you that happened to a brother. It caused him to fall out the truth, being in love with this present world. Let's go to 2 Timothy real quick. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6. 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 6. All right. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand.
So this was Timothy. He was talking about, when he said, I'm ready to be offered up, my time of departure is at hand, he was saying he was getting ready to die. He was on his bed. He was getting ready to leave the earth. Come on. But this is what, verse 7, come on.
I have fought a good fight.
I fought a good fight. That's what we all want to be able to say. When it came to the Most High business, when it came to our walk, we fought a good fight. Come on.
I have finished my course.
He did what?
I have finished my course.
I mean, he did his business. He didn't slack. He got the job done. What he was set out to do, his purpose, he did it. Come on.
I have kept the faith.
Come on.
Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness.
And that's the reason why we must stay busy and diligent and keep the zeal in this walk. Because after you fulfilled your role, there's a crown laid up for you, the kingdom, eternal life. Come on.
Which the Lord, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day.
Right, come on.
And not to me only, but unto all them that love his appearing.
So that's what we all have to be. Because he said, not only for me, but for all that love his appearing. Come on.
All right.
But here's the point. Watch this. Come on.
Do thy diligence to come shortly unto me.
We work diligently to make our election sure. While you got grace on this earth, your job better be figuring out what can I do to push this truth farther and farther.
Right.
What can I do to keep myself in the spirit? How do I keep myself from falling out of truth? What do I do? How do I keep the zeal going? By keeping the faith. What do I do? All right. But remember what I told you. If you find yourself loving other things in the world, this is what's going to happen. Come on.
For Demas hath forsaken me.
For Demas hath forsaken me. It's like you betrayed us. It's like me saying, dang, this brother betrayed us. Right. How did he betray us? Watch this.
Having loved this present world.
He loved this present world. What did he do?
And is departed unto Thessalonica.
Demas fell out. He fell out. Loving this present world, he fell out. Loving this. What does the scripture say about loving this world? Give me 1 John 2 and 15 real quick.
1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world.
So love not the world, neither the things that are in this world. Why?
If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
The love of the Father can't be in you. You can't love both. If you love the world, you're going to fall out of truth because the love of the Father is not in you. The love of the Father is not in you. So what is that telling us? We need to be diligent in our works. I look at y'all brothers and I'm like, where is the zeal at? Brothers is falling off. Not just, you know what I'm saying, this class is in general to the nation, but you get what I'm saying? All right, so when you give me 1 Corinthians real quick. Let's go to 15. 1 Corinthians 15, look at verse 58.
1 Corinthians chapter 15, you said verse 58?
Right.
1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord.
Once again, I went here for that specific piece. Always abounding in the work of the Lord. You want to keep your zeal, stay in the midst of the works. Don't be airing off. You leave that little hot pocket of space for Satan to work, and you're gonna find yourself A little sin here, a little sin there, a little sin there. My eyes over here. I'm entertained by this, and next thing you know, when you finally look up, you in the midst of all sin. You back out of the. You might as well be a nigga in the world because you in the midst of everything they doing. Stay steadfast in this walk, or you gonna fall out. I guarantee it.
Right.
Or you gonna be what? Lukewarm, and then in the end you gonna say, I should have just had fun. Because depart from me, ye workers of iniquity.
And to get burnt up.
Sword through your back. Gone. 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 10.
1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10. 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10. Of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. Want me to keep reading?
No, that's all I want. We are to be diligent in the work. We're supposed to be diligent in the work. We're supposed to be diligent in the work. Period. Give me go to 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10.
2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure.
So that's what we are working diligently to make our election sure. You want to be one of the elects, right?
Of course.
Y'all want to make it?
Of course.
If you want to make it, guess what? It's going to be a hard work, but guess what? You better show your diligence. Don't let your zeal die because you being entertained by things in the world. Don't let your zeal die. Keep your hands abounding in the works of the Most High God. All right? So now, like I said, one of the signs to tell if somebody is not serious,
Want me to finish reading it?
they zeal. Yeah, finish it out.
All right. To making your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall.
If you do these things, you shall never fall. You won't be idle. You won't have a chance to fall out the world because you're always abounding into the works. Your zeal shall remain at highest peak. Remember, we come into this thing, we all trying to get up to the stature of Christ. We all trying to reach to the statues of Christ. If you ever find yourself fluctuating, you hit a ceiling, you better check yourself to see what the hell you're doing wrong. Because no one that I know can walk around and say they made it to the stature of Christ.
Oh, no.
If they have, what are you doing here? Or what are you doing in that school? Or what are you doing in that? Christ, we are not reaching the status of Christ. So therefore, we're supposed to keep what?
Building and building.
Keep going up. You're not supposed to hit a ceiling. Don't let your zeal die because we haven't got there yet. All right? So now, what I said was the second one. You don't study. Only on the Sabbath. That's the second sign of knowing that we can see if somebody is not serious. They don't study. All right? So now, let's get into that piece of it. If you don't study, there's an issue with that. 1 Peter 3 and 15. 1 Peter 3 and 15.
1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 15. But sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear.
Now, most of us, we believe that we are the Israelites because of Deuteronomy 28.
All right.
Then we see the other prophecies. But how are you to give an answer? The scripture say, be ready to give an answer. How are you to give an answer for your faith if you don't study the scriptures? What prophecy can you pull to them to show them the reason behind your belief? We are to study to be ready at all ways and all times to give an answer. Watch this. If we want to know something, what did the Bible say the prophets used to do daily? Give me Acts 17 and 11.
Acts chapter 17. Acts chapter 17 and verse 11.
How often are we to study the scriptures? Let's see.
These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily, whether those things were so.
So if we want to prove anything with the Bible, it says that we search the Bible. These brothers search the scriptures daily. How often are we to study? We search the scriptures daily. We are to search the scriptures daily. That's how often we ought to study. You got to remember, why are you studying?
Just so it's self-approved.
Let's prove that. Let's give me 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy 2 and 15.
2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God.
So you're not studying to prove yourself to man, even though the Bible says be ready to give an answer. Your studying is not to prove anything to man. Your studying is to show yourself proved unto the Most High.
A workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.
Watch this. Give me Proverbs 15:28. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 28.
Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 28. Excuse me. Proverbs chapter 15 and verse 28. The heart of the righteous study to answer.
The heart of the righteous study to answer. The heart of the righteous study to answer. If you have a righteous mind, you are studying, being prepared to do what? Answer. Come on.
But the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things.
All right. So now, when you take that into account, let's go to 1 Peter 4 and 11. 1 Peter 4 and 11. So we study to show ourselves approved unto God. The righteous man study to the righteous heart study to answer. All these are important. We're studying. Why? Because what are we supposed to be speaking? If any man speak, let's read it. 1 Peter 4 and 11.
1 Peter chapter 4 and verse 11. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of God.
If any man speak, let him speak the oracles of God. How can you speak the oracles of the Most High God and you don't study? Come on.
If any man minister, let him do it as if of the ability which God giveth, that God in all things may be glorified through Yahushua, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever.
So if any man speak, let him speak oracles of God. Remember, we study this. We are to speak the Most High's words. The Bible tells us how to identify fools. The Bible tells us how to identify people who have no light in them. Watch this. Give me Isaiah 8 and 20.
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
The Bible tells us how to identify. If they speak not according to this word, there's no light in them. You gotta remember. Who are the priests? Who has a scripture that lets us, sister? What's your favorite scripture?
1 Peter 2 and 9.
Get that real quick. I want to see something. I want to see something.
1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
Right, so we are a royal priesthood. This generation, this nation. The Most High has chosen this whole nation to be priests. Of course, we know the priests of the Lord was the Levites.
All right.
But this whole generation, this whole nation, we are a nation of kings and priests. So now, what are the priests supposed to be speaking?
Wisdom.
Right? But let's get it in another. Let's get Malachi 2 and 7. Right. That was right. Malachi 2 and 7.
Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. Malachi chapter 2 and verse 7. For the priest's lips should keep knowledge.
So if we are all the priests, the Bible telling us that the priest's lips should keep knowledge. What is the knowledge? Come on.
And they should seek the law at his mouth.
It's telling you the priest's lips are supposed to speak knowledge and the laws. The laws of the Most High God. How do we get to that point of none of the priests is studying?
Appreciate that.
How do we build a nation up nobody studying?
You can't.
Is that it on that?
Nope. For he is the messenger of the Lord of hosts.
That's the point. We are all the messengers of the Lord of hosts. What does our job do? To go out and spread the gospel.
Right.
To wake up the lost sheep. To bring out people in. To tell them to repent and keep the laws and commandments. We can't teach them to keep the laws because we ain't studying. You check. Studying also is a part of showing that you have no zeal. If you don't study, that's another blatant sign to show you have no zeal. If you, once again, you have no zeal, you're not excited about this truth, you're not excited to put in more work, you're not excited to be learning, you're not excited, you entertained by everything else, a blatant sign of no zeal. Having no zeal is a big part of keeping it. Zeal is a big part of if you're going to remain in this truth or fall out.
Right.
Studying is a big part to find out if you're going to stay in this truth or fall out. I remember I did a similitude to that. I was like, okay, this word studying is like if you take it into the form of a barbecue grill. You light that fire up. It starts to heat up. That's like when you come into the truth. You come into the truth, you start to heat up. Oh, you learning, you get excited, you start to heat up. Then after a while, that grill is cooking. That grill done been hot. We're going back to the grill. So you put the fire on the grill, it heated up nice on full blaze on fire. You come into the truth, you learn your Israelite, now you on fire. You
Right.
cook it. Eventually, what happens to that fire that's on that grill if you don't add something to it? It burns out. Same thing within this truth. If you stop putting in the work, eventually your fire is going to do what?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to burn out. How do you keep the fire? What's the wood to keep the fire burning? The word of the Most High God. The works of the Most High God. All right? So now, that's it with the studying. The third part was what? Not applying anything that was taught. If you're not applying what's been taught, why are you wasting your time? All right? So watch this. That's big. Some people don't apply anything that they were taught. That's very big. Watch this. Deuteronomy 28:15. And I say this because we'll do a class. We'll do a class about something. I ask you, is the class good? You say, yes, it's a good class. And then not even 2 or 3 days later, you go right back into doing things we just talked about in the class.
You ain't learned that.
Oh, man.
Deuteronomy 28:15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now this is big. Why? Because we got the commandments from Moses, but we didn't apply the commandments that he gave us. And because of that, we went into captivity. That's the same way it is today. When I'll do a class, we'll say it was a good class, and then a week, not even make it to the next Sabbath, we doing the same thing over again. It's the same thing. Watch this. You want to know why that is? Because you did not take the word serious. That's why you don't apply the things that you hear. Because you ain't taking it serious. To you, this was no more than a good lullaby.
Right.
Watch
Good
this.
song.
Watch this. Give me Ezekiel 33, going to verse 31.
Ezekiel chapter 33. You said start at 1?
Yeah.
Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman. Keep going.
You was at Ezekiel 33?
Yeah. And 1.
31.
Oh, you said 31.
Ezekiel 33 and 31.
Oh, okay. Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 31. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people.
So he said, read that from the top again.
Okay. And they come unto thee as the people cometh.
So they come to us, like y'all, you come to the Sabbath, as the people coming, come on.
And they sit before thee.
And you sit before and listen to the word of the Most High God, right? Come on.
As my people. and they hear thy words,
And they hear the word, but what did they do?
but they will not do them.
So the Most High says, it's like you come. We're gonna take it to today's similitude. You come to the Sabbath, you sit before us. We give the word, you hear the word, but don't do it. Come on.
Excuse me. For with their mouth they show much love,
So it's a good class, man. Come on.
but their heart goeth after their covetousness.
But the heart, your mind, goes after whatever it is you know. You got some people that actually sit in the Sabbath, and the whole time they mind somewhere else. They think about something else.
Right. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song.
She said this word is to them is nothing more than a lovely song to some brothers, and it's true. They come to the Sabbath, they sit there, they listen to the class, they agree with everything that was brought out, and then they don't apply what they learned. It was all just a what?
A lovely song.
Most I said they treat this Bible and the words that come out of it like it's just a lovely song. That's it on that?
Oh no. Of one that hath a pleasant voice, and can play well on an instrument. For they hear thy words, but they do them not.
So they hear the word, but they do it not. They hear the word, but they do it not. That's going right back into what? Not applying. And that's big. Why? Because what the Most High say, he also gave us the curses, which obviously that's the piece of the puzzle we got. But what would happen if we would have listened? Give me verse 1. Deuteronomy 28:1.
All right. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth.
So the Most High was telling them, he said, all you had to do is apply what was already told to you. If you'd applied the part that you made and agreed on my behalf, I'd have put you above all nations. But because you didn't, now you're going into captivity. Now we in the positions that we in. All we had to do was apply what the Most High told us to apply.
Right.
Now, so with that being said, watch this. Give me Sirach. We're going to the Apocrypha. Sirach chapter 6, verse 32.
Sirach chapter 6 and verse 32. Sirach chapter 6 and verse 32.
So remember, the Most High said a lot of these people that come into this, they hear it, it is nothing but a lovely song to them. So for that cause, when we broke the commandments, we went into the positions we went into. Now, Sirach 6 and 32.
My son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught.
He said, so if you're willing, you will be taught. Come on.
And if thou wilt apply thy mind,
And if you apply your mind, apply your mind. Apply. It's application with this truth. You got to apply the things that you're hearing. He said, if you apply your mind, come on.
thou shalt be prudent.
To be prudent means wise. If you apply, you shall be wise. Only if you're willing, though. You got to be willing to be taught to even learn to apply what you've been hearing. So the same thing with this. You come here and you hear it. If you're willing to apply it, you shall prosper. If not, you're going to be destroyed. We don't have too many options. We tell y'all, separate. Separate. Scripture say, they wicked, they ain't keeping the commandments. Separate.
Right.
We'll do the class, and what happened? 2 days later, you be right back around. And right back in the midst of the congregation of what we call the wicked.
And wondering why you fall into so much trouble and so much other things that you just fall into a ditch.
Right. Watch this. I want to show y'all something real quick. Give me 1 Corinthians 5 and 11. 1 Corinthians 5 and 11 real quick.
1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 11. But now I have written unto you not to keep company if any man that is called a brother be a fornicator or covetous or idolater or a reveler or a drunkard or an extortioner, with such as one not to eat.
What the scripture said, if anybody be known under these circumstances to not even do what with them?
Don't even eat with them.
We're not to even eat with them. We're not to even eat with them.
That's serious.
Y'all taking these, going over there, and you're eating this food, and these people, they fit these things in these scriptures. guess what? You ain't applying the part where it says separate. You're not applying the you're breaking this commandment. The Bible say don't even eat with them. I don't remember I made that little remark last week and I said I don't even want to eat your wicked food, but if it's the only thing, it's telling you straight up, don't even eat there.
No. That's serious.
Watch this. Watch this. Go to Sirach 2:15.
Sirach chapter 2 and verse 15. Sirach chapter 2 and verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word.
They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word. Meaning what? You're going to apply what he say to do and what he said don't do. You ain't going to do. You got to apply it. Sirach 2:15.
2:15.
Yeah. So it says you have to apply. If you fear the Lord, you're going to obey. What do it mean to fear the Lord? Keep the commandments.
Right. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah. Read it from the top.
All right. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways.
And they that love him will keep his ways. All right. So watch this. Now go to Romans 2:13.
Romans chapter 2 and verse 13. Romans chapter 2 and verse 13. For not the hearers of the law are just before God, but the doers of the law shall be justified.
So the hearers of the law are not justified, but the doers. What it's telling you? Those who apply it. Those who are applying it.
Right.
Hearing this ain't good enough. The Most High want to see some actions behind it.
Oh yeah.
You want to see some actions. That's why the scriptures say that the Most High is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. It's not good enough to hear it. You got to start doing this stuff. You got to start applying this stuff. I'm telling you. We on a fast road to destruction if we don't. Where does it say the same thing at? James 1:22. James 1:22, please.
James chapter 1 and verse 22. James chapter 1 and verse 22. But be ye doers of the word.
The scripture say do what?
But be ye doers of the word.
Apply that what you've heard. Be ye doers of the word. Come on.
And not hearers only.
And not hearers only. Why?
Deceiving your own self.
Because you only doing what?
Deceiving your own self.
If you're not applying the things that you're learning, you're not applying the word, you just being the hearer of it, you're deceiving your own self. That's what the Bible tells you. You're deceiving yourself. You making yourself think you in this truth. And really you're not. You making yourself believe you finna get the kingdom, and really you just headed to a big ball of fire. I'm about to slice and dice and rub ice all over your ass and you don't even see it coming. Straight up. Straight up.
I can read 23.
Go ahead.
For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in the glass. That touched my heart.
All right.
That's serious. For real.
Watch this. Matthew 7:20.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 20.
So you want to know if you applying this thing? You want to know how we can tell you're not applying it? You want to know if you really in this truth? Matthew 7:20.
Matthew chapter 7 and verse 20. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them.
It's telling you straight up, by their works, you shall know them. By what you do, we can tell if you're in this truth or not. The way you deal after the class come out, the way you deal is the way we will be able to know this brother's not serious.
Right.
This brother's not serious. Let's give him some more time. No, we ain't gonna pull him up and correct him. We ain't gonna kick him out. We're gonna give him time to get it together.
Right. Get yourself right.
We're gonna have mercy just like the Father had mercy on us.
Because we don't give you no mercy. Imagine us when we mess up one time and he just be like, I'm through with you.
Right. So another way of us saying that you're not serious is not applying the things that come out in these classes. Now, fourth and last sign for today. No communication. No communication is a big sign to show that somebody is off. I'm going to tell you why. Because most time when people draw away from the truth, it's either they're in the midst of sin and they pulling themselves away. Or the zeal has died, or they just what? Not serious about the truth. Why? Because if you're in the midst of this truth, you're supposed to keep in communication with brothers that you know in the truth. Why? Y'all walking the same walk. Who else going to help you out when you fall short?
Right.
Who going to keep you going on this truth? When you're in the midst of fellowship, how many times has sin pop up in your head? When we in here fellowship, How many of y'all think about sin?
I don't.
Your mind be tuned into the spirit. What we got going on?
Scriptures coming out. That's so your mind be focused on the scriptures.
We got the grill pumping. We in here. We got our drinks flowing. The music playing. Brothers in here cutting up.
Having a good time.
Watch this. Malachi 3 and 16. Malachi 3 and 16.
Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16. Malachi chapter 3 and verse 16. Then they that feared the Lord spake often one to another.
So the scriptures say, they that fear the Lord spake often to one to another. That's the same way we are today. Us who fear the Lord are to speak often one to another. That often, there's no number on often. That's as much as possible. I'm going to keep myself in contact with brothers who I know fear the Lord as well. Read on.
And the Lord hearkened.
And the Most High heard it.
And heard it.
Come on.
And a book of remembrance was written before him for them that feared the Lord.
That's heavy. That's heavy. You know what that's saying? Because you stayed in contact with brothers that fear the Lord, I'm marking you down in the book.
I'm going to remember you.
I'm going to remember it. The Most High telling you, you want a shortcut to the kingdom? Stay in contact with brothers that's keeping the commandments.
Right.
Watch this. Now I'm gonna show you the flip side. I'm gonna show you why most people you could tell how some people are not in the truth by not keeping contact. It's only once you see them brothers who be talking about you ain't gotta be a part of no school, no camp and all that stuff. Okay. Listen to that foolishness if you want to. Watch this. Jude, go to Jude, the last book right before Revelation. Go to Jude, chapter 9. It's only one page. Give me verse 19. I'm gonna show you what kind of spirit those brothers have, the ones that's separating themselves.
Jude. I'm sorry. Jude, verse 19. Jude, verse 19. These be they who separate.
Start at 18. Start at 18.
Jude, verse 18. How that they told you there shall be mockers in the last time.
So, it's going to be mockers in the last time. Mockers in the last time. Come on.
Who shall walk after their own ungodly lust.
So, those are the ones that walk after their own ungodly lust. Which people are that? You'll know by this verse here.
These be they who separate themselves.
They be they that do what?
Separate themselves.
Come on.
Sensually.
Sensually mean, I'm going to break that down in a second. Read it from the top one more time.
These be they who separate themselves. Sensual. Having not the spirit.
So the Bible tells you straight up, the ones who separate themselves are the ones who do not have the spirit. They don't have the spirit of the Most High on them. That's why they separate them. That's why they pulling themselves away from the body. Because sensual, that's almost like somebody, I'm going to tell you just like this. People separate for one of three ways. They weak. I said weak. They wicked. Wicked, my fault. They're in the midst of some type of sin. Or you got that effeminate brother, the one that...
that's weak.
Yeah, weak. You're right. Weak. Right. Sensual, that effeminate brother,
right.
Meaning he's very not emotional. Gay, but he's emotional.
Very.
I don't like the way he corrected me. He was yelling at me. So he asked for something, somebody said no. Man, he could have helped me out. I ain't going back. The ones that don't, if they hear something they don't like, they get correction, they get yelled at, whatever. Anything that make them hurt their little feelings, they leave the body for that cause. Yeah. Not thinking about is it true or is it false.
Right.
So they will leave the body. They don't have the spirit on them. That's that sensual brother. And then you have the ones that, once again, they just can't take correction. So it's the feminine brother's the one, anything, he emotional. Anything, right. It hurt his feelings, he leaving. And then you got the ones that just can't take correction. And then you got those who are what? Wicked. They in the midst of secret sin.
Right.
And that thing pulled them out of the truth. All right? Watch this. What does the scripture tell us? Let's say somebody is in the midst of sin, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say you fall into midst of sin.
Right.
What does the scripture tell us? Go to Sirach real quick. Sirach 37. Because some people pull themselves away and think you know what, I'm just getting myself together by myself. You're going to find yourself in more sin, I guarantee you that. That ain't going to happen like that. What the Bible say? Come on.
Sirach 37:1.
Give me verse 12. I think that's what it was.
Sirach chapter 7 and verse 37 and verse 12.
Is that what I'm looking for? Sirach 37.
Yeah, that's what it is.
12.
You
continue. Yeah. Give me that.
Sirach chapter 37 and verse 12. But be continually with a godly man.
So scripture say, be continually with godly men. Come on.
Whom thou knowest to keep the commandments of the Lord.
Who you know to keep the commandments of the Lord.
whose mind is according to thy mind,
Come on.
and will sorrow with thee, if thou shalt miscarry.
So when you find yourself, you done messed around and fell into the midst of sin. You don't separate even farther from the body. That's the worst thing to do. You cleave closer to the people you know keeping the commandments. Why? Because they're gonna sorrow for you when you miscarry. They're the ones gonna pray for you. What the scripture say? The fervent prayers of a righteous man availeth much.
Right.
They gonna fast for you. When brothers and sisters go through, have I ever turned one of y'all down when y'all needed me to fast with y'all?
No.
I'm gonna fast for you. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna help you the best way I can to get up out of whatever it is you battle. But you gotta be willing to do it first. You gotta be willing to fight. You gotta be able to take this thing on. We all got our demons we gotta battle. Who gonna feel for me when I'm going through it? Only another righteous brother in the world gonna say, hell man, I ain't nothing wrong to hit that blunt.
Well, age with you. That's what he basically saying. Encouraging you, provoking you to do sin.
All right.
Saying the hell with you.
So the scripture says, stay with those who we know to keep the commandments. Watch this. Ecclesiastes 4:9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 and verse 9.
What I'm showing you is we don't pull away when we fall in the midst. We don't separate ourselves. Stay in contact with your brothers. That's what the scripture was about. That's why I went to Malachi 3:16. Those who fear the Lord spake often to one another. And because the Most High heard it, he wrote a book of remembrance with their names in it. Okay? Then we went to Jude to show how the wicked is the ones that really separate themselves. Then we went back to Sirach 37 to show that, guess what? Stay amongst brothers that are keeping the commandments. Stay continual with them. We're going to Ecclesiastes 4:9. What's happening with that? Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 9. Two are better than one.
Two are better than one.
Because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow.
If you fall into the midst of sin, you have a brother there to pick you up. If you with the body, we are a unit. If I look, this is a chain link. I'm gonna tell you why. Let's put it like this. If I'm looking out for Solomon looking out for you. You looking out for St. John. St. John looking out for Shavar. What are we all doing? We all making sure none of us lack.
Yeah.
We all got each other back.
Sure.
You understand that link? That link. You may be my best friend in the truth. I'm looking out for you. You may be attached to him. You looking out for him. He may be attached to him. We all is pulling together in unity.
Right.
Come on.
But woe to him that is alone when he falleth.
But woe to him that separate himself. Woe to them who keep no contact. Nobody don't know what's up with you. We don't hear nothing from you. On time we hear from you on the Sabbath. You better be, I'm telling you, it's always doubt in there. Why? Because your brothers that keeping the commandments are here. So who the hell are you with when you over there? Come on.
For he hath not another to help him up.
And when you fall, you don't have nobody to help you up. Why? Nobody's keeping the commandments anyways. Who's going to correct you? Who's going to tell you, hey, brother, now you're going off? You're going, hey, brother, slow down, bro. You're moving too fast. Two are better than one. One fall, the other can pick him up. Vice versa. Woe to him that is alone. When he fall, there's no one there to pick him up. Come on.
Okay, read.
That was it.
That was it for verse 10.
All right. So now, watch this. Give me 3 John. 3 John verse 4.
3 John verse 4. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth.
So the Bible says what?
That I have no greater joy than to hear my children walk in truth.
So the Most High said, I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in the truth. My children walk in the truth. That's all going to bring. I did all that to bring us back to one point again. Zephaniah 2:1.
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired.
So once again, how can we be separate? The Bible over and over and redundantly tells us to stay amongst godly brothers. Stay amongst those who keep commandments. 2 are better than 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. We are the nation that's not desired. No other nation cares about us. No other nation wants to be like us. They want to be us. Meaning they want our blessings, our name, the inheritance, and everything that comes with it. But the walk that we got to go through to get it, they don't want no parts of that.
None of that.
And none of them feel remorse for us.
No.
That's why when you see all these videos of people getting harassed and beat up by the police and shot dead. When you read the comments on that, I guarantee you, if you have woken up, it will piss you off to hear the way they blatantly see this man was violated, and then they'll say, well, he should have just said something. If you made it worse, all you had to do was just listen. There's no remorse amongst our people. So guess what that means? You better be gathering yourselves together.
Right.
Watch this. Give me verse 2.
Verse 2. Before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the shadow, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you.
Just telling you, you better gather yourselves together before that day of the Lord come back, because you still separated and scattered amongst each other and deep in hatred amongst each other. Blim blim. Drop them blim blims on you. You're done. You're done, all right? So that's today's class. 4 signs to tell that you're not serious about this truth. So what we got to do now? We got to figure out what part of this pertains to us out of these 4 and fix it.
Got to get serious about the truth.
Get it? The overall point is, I need y'all brothers serious about this thing. More diligent. Let's get it. Let's get it. We got to get it together, man. Time is ticking. I've been doing the classes with the prophecy, showing y'all how close the end is. I'm doing that for a reason. Girt yourselves up. Get ready, man. You better girt yourselves up and shake off the dust and break free of whatever strongholds is holding you. Because we ain't got much time. The Most High is coming. And when he come, he said, what's that scripture at? I want that one scripture. What does it say? He said, give me a second, y'all. I don't know why I can't remember off the top of my head. Watch this. When that day of the Lord come, it ain't gonna be no mercy. Watch this. Give me 2nd Ezra real quick. 2nd Ezra 15 and 22. You ain't got yourself together by that time come, I'm dropping them blim blims on you. You dropping them blim blims on you. And by that, I mean there will be no mercy. There will be no mercy. It's gonna be too late then.
2nd Ezra
15 and 22.
2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 22. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 22. My right hand shall not spare the sinner.
So he telling you straight up, when that day come, my right hand ain't sparing no sinner.
And my sword shall not cease over them that shed innocent blood upon the earth.
And we know that's
goodbye Esau.
Esau. Yeah.
And the other nations too. Don't get it twisted. You gonna die.
All right. So you better get it together. We ain't get it together. I need y'all more sincere, more diligent. You better start putting in this work, because it goes with a class, then it goes to a correction, and then it goes to get the hell out.
It's gonna look like the movie sequel part 2. Get out.
All right. So any questions on anything that was coming? Rather clear? All right. St. John, 1 Corinthians 5 and 11 now. 1 Corinthians 5 and 11 now. All right. Give me Matthew 26.
That was your book, brother.
That's that book. That thing too small to read. Way too small.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 26. Now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came into him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment and put it on his head as he sat at meat. But when the disciples saw it, they had indignation.
Slow it down.
What's happening?
Slow it down. Slow it down.
I thought you wanted that business.
No, don't fly.
Oh.
We ain't go over time today.
All right. Now when Jesus was in Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, there came into him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment and poured it on his head as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman, for she hath brought the good work upon me? For you have the poor always with you, but me you have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there also this woman hath done be told for a memorial of her.
So we're commanded to bring this out no matter where we go. Wherever we teach this gospel, we are commanded to bring out what the sister did, preparing Christ for his burial. With this, I hope y'all watch the class all the way through, because I see a lot of people clicking in and out. But the scriptures tell us, I just pointed out 4 signs. There's many more signs to tell if somebody is serious about this truth or not, but I only called out 4 today. So examine yourselves. As a fact, give me that real quick. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves real quick.
2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua is in you, except ye be reprobates.
To be a reprobate, you beyond salvation.
Yeah, it's over.
You don't even acknowledge your Father. You feel as if you are above any and everything. You don't understand. All right. Shalom, shalom, sister, and shalom, Jamie. All right. So I pray that today's class was edifying. Take this thing serious. Identify what issue you have and correct it. Maybe we may do another one, point out 4 more signs. Who knows? But we'll say shalom. Seek Christ at Shalom Abigail 92 Shalom. Okay. All right. Shalom to seek Christ. Shalom.
Shalom, shalom to you.
All right. So with that, hopefully we see y'all again next Saturday. The Sabbath is not over yet. The sun is not down, so don't get it twisted. But we finna have a little party up in here one day.
We out in the street with these scriptures, we preach and teach, repent and die. I ain't giving up for nobody. Not my mother, not my father, not even my wife. The Bible told me be strong.